welcome to Thoughts on Thursday. It's Reverend Miller
and Stuart Holmes.
We're glad that you're joining us as we prepare for worship for the third Sunday of Advent. And last Sunday, it was exciting. We had two elders and two deacons who were, well, the elders were ordained and installed, and our deacons, they had served before and have been ordained as our deacons, so they were installed. And in that liturgy, because I know if you watched online or if you were here in person, you were, every word I read, you were listening to intently.
Yeah.
But in there, it does say in the Reformed Church, we believe that every person in Christ, men and women, have been called to the service in Christ. Some have been called to be deacons and elders, some ministers, some music ministers and organists, but there are different gifts, and we mentioned those. This coming Sunday, we have two wonderful passages, familiar passages. 1 Samuel 3, the calling of Samuel, where Samuel goes, Samuel, Samuel, and he thinks it's Eli calling him. And also then in John chapter 1, after Andrew and Peter were called, we have Nathan and Philip and Nathaniel being called. And Philip, Jesus goes up to him and says, follow me, and he comes. And there's some debate in there and some questioning. I believe Nathaniel says, does anything good come from Nazareth? We're going to be exploring the idea of call, how we're all called, and what does that mean. And as you prepare for worship, I want you to think about when you feel called to something, what does that really do for you in your life? And usually, I think, if you feel called, you're willing to face obstacles and hindrances and setbacks because of that sense of call. And how many years has it been that you've been an organist? Not just here, but...
Well, I had my first job in 69.
69,
and
which makes it older than me by 2 years.
So you got 30, 20,
So that's 54.
54,
Since
yeah.
I'm 52, I can do that math pretty quickly. Almost 55, depending on when that year. So that's and you've had ups and downs, and you've been playing the organ because a passion for it and calling for it. And the same thing for myself as a minister, which I celebrated 25 years of ordained ministry, but I was doing ministry prior to that as intern and volunteer. And so you're willing to put up with things or setbacks because of that sense of call. And sometimes we wonder if we're even called. There's a questioning with that. So that's what we're going to be exploring in worship and in the sermon, and we'll see the theme throughout the whole worship service, the sense of listening to God. And the title of the sermon, Who is it? Who is it? Not always knowing who is calling at that time. And we might even have some throwback conversation about old phones, Stuart.
Oh dear.
So that's what's happening for the message and for the liturgical parts of the worship on the Sunday. Music-wise, I know Stuart and I tease each other. The middle hymn, which is usually, we try to pick a smaller, shorter hymn for that, with a little bit, maybe not as big as some of the other hymns. And we're singing Kumbaya, a favorite of campers, maybe not a favorite of organists, but...
I think you're right on both those guys.
So what about the other music, Stuart?
But it is a favorite of many people out there.
Yeah.
And at that point, I, kind of say, I'll swallow my pride and
For one moment, we won't have Bach.
Yeah,
I mean,
and see if they can enjoy the worship service because we sang it. So. Musically, I'm focused. After this busy Christmas and Epiphany season. Actually, we're still in Epiphany.
And Lynn's going to be here so quickly.
We are, yeah. Yeah, 5 weeks away. The soloist today, or Sunday, is going to be in that theme of calling. I am playing for the prelude just a generic piece that I opened up today, the Water Music Suite. Handel wrote this suite of music to be performed on a barge on the River Tame. And he crowded as many people as he could and played as the barge was floating downstream. There's a question as to what the reaction was, but anyway, it is Water Music Suite, and that tune just is a lovely, and you can almost.
And so we're supposed to imagine ourselves
I
on a
can
barge.
imagine, yeah, it's like my meditation. Imagine yourself sitting in the water.
Stuart
and
wants us to be
floating.
very focused on the prelude, so
Oh,
we'll all be bobbing in the pews.
Yes, well,
Do-do-do-do-do.
I don't think so. And the anthem is by John Nesbeck, and it's called "Lord, Here Am I." And the first couple lines: "Master, thou callest, and I gladly obey. Direct me, and I'll find the way. Teach me the mission appointed for me. What is my labor, and where shall it be?"
And that's what Samuel says.
Yeah.
Lord, here am I.
Here am I. So it's fitting right in. Many people will just be amazed that this has been all coordinated by their staff. Well, I'm going to take it.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it right at that. And then at the end, I'm playing another Handel piece, which is from the Fireworks Suite. And a lot of people use this for a recessional, and I'll play it as we go out.
All right.
All right?
These are our thoughts. We're glad that you joined us today. Maybe not the longest thoughts, but we're glad to share a little bit to prepare ourselves for this third Sunday after Epiphany. And as we gather and worship, we hope to see you either in person here in the historic sanctuary or online with Zoom, live streamed, or later in the day on Facebook. Thanks for joining us.
Excellent.
Have a great day.